South Carolina's Republican Governor Henry McMaster has called for a special legislative session centered on redrawing the state's congressional map ahead of the November midterm elections. The Republican-led legislature is expected to pass a map that could have a major impact on South Carolina's only Democratic district, currently held by longtime Congressman Jim Clyburn. But it's not just South Carolina. On Wednesday, Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp called for a special session on June 17th to redraw its congressional map for the 2028 election cycle. South Carolina and Georgia are the latest red states to call for special legislative sessions following last month's Supreme Court decision on Louisiana. The High Court rejected efforts to create a second majority black district in the state. In the wake of that ruling, Louisiana state lawmakers unveiled this new map Wednesday. As you can see, it now favors Republicans in 5 districts and Democrats in 1. CBS News political director Fin Gómez joins us now. Fin, it's always great to see you. So break this down for us. How is all this redistricting going to affect the midterms this November and even the 2028 presidential election?
Yeah, Meg, that's a great question. Look, this is shaping up to be one of the most consequential redistricting fights we've seen in a generation. And what's interesting here is that Republicans are now playing on 2 timelines, 2 different cycles. South Carolina, of course, is the immediate fight. They're racing to redraw the map before November. The proposal, as you said, that was teed up would erase Jim Clyburn's district, one of the most powerful black Democrats in Congress, a 33-year incumbent, somewhat of a kingmaker in his party, and then turn that South Carolina delegation Republican. And, if you combine that with redraws in Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, and Republicans could bank additional seats before a single vote is cast in the midterm election. As many as 10 seats that are favorable to Republicans following that Supreme Court Cali ruling you mentioned. That's a major cushion for a party defending a razor-thin House majority. Then there's Georgia, right? You mentioned Kemp is holding that June 17th session aimed at the 2028 cycle, which tells you Republicans aren't just trying to win this November, they're trying to lock in the map for the rest of the decade and into that next presidential cycle. And if you recall, Georgia is always a battleground state, especially in the last couple presidential cycles. So it's also expected to be another battleground in 2028. Meg?
All eyes on Georgia for sure. Turning now to California, Fin, where CBS News California and the San Francisco Examiner, they're holding the final governor's debate tonight ahead of the primary on June 2nd. Where do the candidates stand in the polls right now, and what are they focusing on to try and reel in voters?
Look, this is a genuine jump ball here, Meg, heading into tonight's debate, hosted by our great CBS California station colleagues. Look, the latest Emerson poll out this week shows Javier Becerra, the former HHS secretary under Joe Biden. He's narrowly in front at about 19%, but right behind him, Republican Steve Hilton. He's, of course, the former Fox News commentator endorsed by President Trump. And then you have billionaire Democrats Tom Steyer, Katie Porter, the former congresswoman, and Riverside Sheriff Chad Bianco. They run up the top 5, but they're all within really single digits of a margin of difference with each other. And remember, this is a top 2 jungle primary. That means that the 2 highest vote getters on June 2nd advance to the November ballot, regardless of party. So tonight's stakes are huge, especially for Democrats who've been worried about getting locked out entirely if 2 Republicans finish on top. I would expect major fireworks tonight. I think a lot of candidates are looking to have a breakout moment, Meg, and this is their time to do so.
Must-see TV. Fin Gómez, thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
And a programming note, we will have special coverage of next week's primaries in Alabama, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on CBS News 24/7.